Evolution versus Creationism. A close reading by Alexandra Wu. John Hall Gladstone was a British chemist who was a member of the Royal Society, which is an organization that is a learned society for science. He served as the first president for the Physical Society, and he was also the president of the Chemical Society. He was also an active member and worked with the Young Men's Christian Association, which was founded by George Williams. This speech that John Gladstone made was on behalf of the Christian Evidence Society and was later turned into his book in 1872. The purpose of this book was to deny Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. However, Gladstone made it clear that not all science was wrong and could be discredited by the Bible. In fact, he uses examples where science backs up the Bible stories. However, he states that the idea of evolution is simply false. Now on to text. Here is a direct quote from the source. The problem of the method of creation is a grand one, and modern science lures us on with the hope of a solution. At present, we are in the early stage of crude guesses, or at best, of partial glimpses. Yet, whatever further insight may be gained, we may rest assured that the Christian will continue to exclaim as the psalmist did when reviewing the animate world. But with an ever-widening intelligence, O Lord, how manifold are thy works! In wisdom hast thou made them all. This quote tells the reader just how modern science and the idea of evolution is hurting the world and is giving us a false sense of a solution. This means that even though religion is a guessing game and it's hard for us to understand, if we are turning to evolution as the answer, then we are just giving our minds a temporary rest of peace, but it is not the truth. He blatantly calls this theory of evolution out and calls it a lie. Now onto the second direct quote. But presently, I heard around me many voices opposing the theory, not only as untrue, but as irreligious, while some of the other voices were loud in its praise because it was reputed anti-Christian. On listening, I seemed to distinguish two principal grounds of supposed antagonism between the development theory and scriptural theology. First, it cannot be true that God created all the different plants and animals if they only descended from other pre-existent forms. Second, this view removes God further from his universe and only allows of his operation in the primitive forms or form at some incalculably remote epoch. This quote tells the reader how Gladwell cannot possibly imagine how evolution was possible because then it would refute everything that Christianity states. Then he also says how this view forces us to see God as someone who can only create primitive life, and the only way we got to the complex organisms, such as humans, was through science, not by the power of God. Now on to subtext. 1. By refuting Darwin's idea of evolution, it could potentially be because he was competing with Darwin as a scientist, and because the theory of evolution could make Darwin extremely successful. Therefore, he doesn't want to promote his theory because then it might hurt Gladstone's success. 2. On October 5th of 1860, there was the Druze-Maronite conflict in Syria, which led to a massacre of Christians. Therefore, after recent attacks and massacres on the Christian population after Darwin's book came out, Gladstone might have been trying to persuade the community that Christianity is necessary and good, and to prevent any more massacres of Christians by saying that we are only here and alive because of God. 3. Gladstone, being a British chemist, didn't want to completely ruin science because then he would be ruining his scientific organizations and societies. He was the president of the Chemist Society and the Physical Society. Therefore, he made sure not to discredit science in general, but just Darwin's theory of evolution. His ulterior motive to doing this could have been preventing his own societies and work from being discredited and ruined, but also because he wanted the church to no longer see science as a threat, and what he did as a threat. That way, he could continue his work in both the Christian community and the chemical community. This could also prevent his societies and organizations from being ruined because of evolution. No one might come to his lectures or support his societies if the people believed in evolution. Thank you for watching.